everyone. One of my sons is maybe making you sick, but he's so excited because he got his Lego magazine today. We are enjoying the beautiful weather. Hey Sam, it is absolutely gorgeous today. I think it's like 70 degrees or something. And I have a few guests with me. I'm going to turn it around. Hey Courtney, so you can see them. Each get like a minute. So this
Happy November 2nd.
Aren't they cute? Hey Lauren. Okay. Welcome you guys. Hey Larissa. Hey Lauren. All right. We call this one TNT. This is Tough and Tender. That's his name online. Hey Sean, and he wanted to tell you something. What do you want to say? Nothing? Do you want to show him some about your Lego magazine, or you just want to say hi? Look, they're giving you hearts. Hi. Say hey, Becca.
What?
What did you dress up like for Halloween? Look, they're going to talk to you.
Tiger.
A tiger. And how old are you?
7.
Okay. Anything else? Look, they said hi, TNT. Are you homeschooled?
No. Sometimes I go to school.
Well, he's homeschooled on Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays. Tuesday and Wednesday he goes to a homeschool academy and like is there all day without me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, this is Sunshine Head. Come here. He's next. Did you want to show him something?
No.
You want to say anything? Like, what'd you have for lunch or anything?
What did I had peanut butter with jelly.
Okay, TNT, you're done. It's Sunshine Head's turn. Look, they're saying hi, Sunshine Head.
Ooh, I dressed up for Halloween.
Yeah, you could tell them.
For Halloween, I dressed up as Batman, and I am 9 years old.
Very cool. Anything else? Do you want to ask them a question or anything?
No.
Do you want to ask them if they dressed up? They like your shirt. Look, they're talking.
Did you dress up?
Let's hope you dress
Show
up.
them your shirt.
There we go.
Minecraft, baby.
Hey, buddy, Batman, so cool. That's what Miss Gail said. They're saying you guys are cute. Okay, you guys go play. Now it's Darling Daughter's turn.
Hi. For Halloween, I dressed up as Katniss Everdeen. And I'm 11 years old. And I just made this today. That's our pond and the sky and everything else, but
Look, they're talking. See? Katniss. Awesome. Why don't you show them?
Katniss.
We'll show them the pond. Can they see it?
Show them the pond.
That's what she drew a picture of. Okay, anything else you want to say?
I love Katniss.
She loves Katniss. She's a mini-me. Yes, that is true. So they wanted to talk to you guys today. And I think I have leaves in my hair now. Yes, she is like me. And Courtney, you know, she likes theater like me. She has been blessed with big emotions like me. And she is tweening like I did. But here's the thing, I don't know how to parent me. And so we have our ups and downs, but we're going to get through it. And you know, we just watched Inside Out. How many of you have watched Inside Out? It is a very good movie. Yes, I got a cough just like. We watched Inside Out. And oh my goodness, it's such a smart, intelligent movie. And I loved how the girl in it was, she tweeted like me too, hubby's saying. I'm not sure, hon. Sorry. Yes, but what I loved about it is the girl's 11 and there's one point where she's feeling like all the emotions like every couple seconds. I'm like, isn't that true? It's hard to navigate that. And, oh, are you saying you acted like that too, hubby? But she, you know, it's hard to navigate those things. And like, I remember feeling that way too. You just feel like all smushy inside with emotions. Anyway. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I'm not gonna lie, I am really glad the restoration project is done. It was wonderful, right? Lots of fun. Oh yes, emotions for me are hard to navigate. I exploded this morning, you know, that anger. I've got a big anger emotion. And guess what the message was on Sunday? in your anger, do not sin. I'm like, I was convicted by the title. I knew it was going to be a doozy. So I've had we had messy closets, which typically, like, I can live in a semi unpicked up house and be okay, kind of. But sometimes I just reach my limit and I cannot stand it. And especially I think when I'm pregnant, like you're nesting. And so I was like flinging things out of the boys' closets and turned into like this scary monster. And then I felt bad. And then I was crying in the shower and all those wonderful things. So I'm just being real. I guess confessions, right? That's what this is all about. What's a lousy Christian to do? Because I tell you what, I felt like a lousy Christian lately. And in our Precept Bible study, we are... Yeah, I'm sorry about it too. It's just not good, you know? And yeah, it's Lauren, we tend to have these kind of Mondays, huh? And you know, a lot of it is here's what my revelation in the shower was. I get so mad at them for having like just not taking care of their stuff. And for one, I never took care of my stuff. I used to shove it all under my bed. It was so gross. And my daughter's looking at me. And but here's the thing. I am not disciplined enough to go check their room each night and have them pick it up. I just let it go, let it go, let it go. It builds up and then I explode. So I was convicted. And hubby's probably loving this confession, because if I am disciplined, then they're going to see, you know, a disciplined life modeled, and we won't have so much chaos, you know? And you know what, Courtney, I just keep thinking about, you know, if they get married someday, I do not want their wives to be mad at me that they live messy. So we are trying to nip this in the bud right now. Yes, that is good. Inspect what you expect. I like that. And so I just need to get myself off the couch, because, you know, at a certain time of night, I just plop and I'm just like done. So I need to, before, like maybe at 7 o'clock, go in there and see what things look like. Because if we do that all the time, we're not going to have a big disaster on our hands. And, you know, it's the same with, okay, you guys need to go take a rest. All right. Oops, sorry. Yeah, I know. And it's not necessarily always fair, because I just explode, but I haven't really necessarily taught them what I want them to do. So anyways, so I need to work on me being disciplined and consistent with them, and then we won't have this huge problem. So that's my confession. But what I wanted to talk about is in Matthew 6 and 7. I think this is both the Sermon on the Mount. And, you know, I've read this a lot of times, but we're studying it for Bible study. And I didn't know I was going to be so convicted. I mean, you know, he's talking about, let's see, do not judge or you'll be judged. If you forgive, let's see, you know, if you don't forgive, you won't be forgiven, basically. Don't be a hypocrite, you know, all this kind of stuff. And I am just feeling like I'm a lousy, let's just say, why do you think of your spouses? Yeah. Well, I just don't want, you know, daughter-in-laws mad at me. Like, I want them to thank me someday and be like, thank you for teaching your son how to cook and how to do laundry and how to pick up, and put the toilet seat down, right? Because we're preparing them for what's next. And whether they get married or it's a roommate at college or whatever, living on their own, that's our job, right? Side story, we went to a wedding one time, and I think I might have shared the story before, but the pastor said, who gives this girl away? You know, basically she said her name. And then the father said, well, I want to say something for a minute. And he goes, you know, my wife and I are so blessed that God entrusted our daughter to us, but we always knew it was our job to prepare her for what's next. And so that was their attitude. And so they said, who gives this girl, I can't remember her name, and they said, God does, and we approve. And it was just this beautiful picture. And my husband and I were like, wow, like we want to have that mindset, even though it's hard, you know, to think about them leaving. It's healthy and it's right. And we want to prepare them the best we can, but I need to work on that. So anyway, back to Matthew 6. So it's talking about, don't do things to be noticed by others. Oh, it's even in Matthew 5 too. It talks about be the poor in spirit, those who mourn, the gentle, the merciful, the pure in heart, the peacemakers. And then, it's just like conviction after conviction. And it's like, when you're persecuted, like you'll be rewarded, and like just all these things. Yeah, isn't that awesome, Court? Wasn't that an awesome story? Not like I told awesome, but just that such a picture. So where was I trying to read? There's one part where it says basically if you're, let me see if I can find it, you guys. Sorry, I had this. Oh, right here. Matthew 5:20. It says, "For I say to you that unless your righteousness surpasses that of the scribes and Pharisees, you shall not enter the kingdom of heaven." And I'm like, well, obviously my righteousness does not. So I was just like super discouraged. I'm like, this is impossible, and it says also like in verse 19, "Whoever then annuls one of the least of these commandments and so teaches others shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. Whoever keeps and teaches them shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven." And I was just feeling like a really lousy Christian. And I was kind of down. I'm like, well, this just stinks. Like, I can't live up to this stuff. And then it was kind of like, I'm still getting there, but I felt like God's like, yeah, and that's the point of the gospel. You can't do it. You are a lousy Christian and you need a savior. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't have like this crazy past. There's some crazy, but it's not like, I didn't anything crazy you could think of. I wasn't a drug addict. I wasn't in a cult. I, wasn't whatever. Fill in the blank. Okay. And that's some people's story. But sometimes when you've kind of been a semi like good person, sometimes it's hard because you can be self-righteous and judgmental, which is just as bad of sins, right? Like the Pharisees were. And but we need a savior. And so I think God has just been showing me, he's like, you are so, he loves me. Sorry, son's moving, he loves me, but I don't measure up. I don't measure up. And you know what? I spend so much of my time trying to measure up, trying to earn. I've talked about this before, trying to, keep the law and stumbling with grace and fumbling with grace. But that is the gospel. My righteousness cannot exceed apart from Jesus Christ. I need him. I need to put him on. And then when God looks at me, he sees Jesus, and Jesus is righteousness. My head knows that. My heart has a hard time like living it out. And so I just wonder if any of you struggle with that of, being a Christian from a young age can cause temptation to be lukewarm and complacent. Yeah. Or just think like, I'm not doing that. Anything's wrong. Hey, Mandy, welcome. But when it talks about, am I gentle? Am I a peacemaker? Obviously I am not because I just confessed that. And I've just been feeling, hey, sis-in-law, anyway, heart knowledge versus head knowledge for sure. But I just want to encourage you, if you're feeling like a lousy Christian, what are we to do? Well, we could keep trying harder and failing and getting more discouraged. That's one option. We could pretend we don't really struggle and be deceitful. Or we could go to the Savior and just say, you know what? I'm a lousy Christian. I'm a sinner. And I need you to redeem me and to help me because I cannot do it. And so that is the place I'm getting. And I'm feeling like, on one hand, like really disappointed in myself. Like, come on, read, get it together. But at the same time, I think God's trying to break through. And I think that I'm on the verge of healing. No, Mandy's not my sister-in-law. Amy is. She was right before Mandy's comment. But I'm sure Mandy would be a wonderful sister-in-law too. It's funny, my sister-in-law, we both have dark hair. We kind of look alike. It's kind of funny. But anyway, so I think God's trying to break through and just show me, listen, you desperately need me just as much as everybody else. And, I kind of need to get off my high horse and just admit that, because then I think we can make progress. The same with this anger issue. I can just keep trying and spinning my wheels and doing the same thing and failing, Or I can ask him for wisdom, like, okay, God, sometimes we just don't want to do the hard work. Anybody there? Like, I am a hard working person, but sometimes it's like, you know what you need to do and you're just not doing it. I'll ask hubby, or I'll complain, or I always call it tattling on the kids, real mature of me, like, guess what they did? And, hubby will say, you need to be consistent. Yes, only he can do it through do this Christian life well through the Spirit. Absolutely. Love what you guys are saying. And so I just want to encourage you today, if you're feeling like a lousy Christian, there is hope, because Jesus is our hope and the anchor to our soul. And so if there's an issue you are struggling with, I just encourage you to go to his word. Ask him for wisdom. If you read through Proverbs 2, my friend Saray, I talked about her a little earlier, she's a wise woman, and she told me about in Proverbs 2, you can make a list. Thought you might like that, sis, with your tattoo. She has an anchor tattoo, so now everybody knows on Periscope and on the web. Yay. So anyways, she made a list from Proverbs 2 of everything that's our part in seeking wisdom, and then everything God promises about wisdom. So it's a really cool exercise. Sorry, I gotta move again. I'm so glad about the sunshine, but I don't want to blind you. So anyway, so yeah, do that. If you have time today, Proverbs 2, go through and it'll show our part in seeking wisdom and God's part in it. And it's really neat to see. Thank you for that, Larissa. So anyone else feeling like a lousy Christian today? We have hope as an anchor to our soul. We have Jesus. Otherwise we would have no hope. I mean, as I was reading through the Sermon on the Mount part, I'm like, well, if it weren't for Jesus, I couldn't do any of these. I couldn't keep these commands. I couldn't, act like this. I've got a long ways to go. I mean, that list of, the pure, the gentle, the, poor in spirit. And we were talking about poor in spirit. And I think that kind of means like you're needy, like if we just think we're totally sufficient and independent on our own, we're not needy, and it says, blessed are the poor in spirit. Is it for they will see God? I don't have my Bible now, but anyway, if someone can look that up, but, or the pure in heart will see God, right? Anyway, and it talks about those will have the kingdom, that list. Yeah, needy is good, but it's hard, isn't it? Because sometimes you feel like people are going to walk out on you if you're too needy. And so it's hard. But thankfully, Jesus says, lo, I'm with you always, even to the very end of the age, at the end of Matthew. And I just love that. He is with us. He is able to save us to the uttermost, isn't he? So I hope that encourages you today. If you're feeling like a lousy Christian, thank goodness we have a Savior and we are in desperate need of him. No matter if our past is really colorful or not colorful or all those kind of things, we all are sinners in need of a Savior. And I'm so thankful that we have one. And I'm glad you're encouraged, because I still am feeling like kind of like down the dumps. Like, I think I've worked so hard, like maybe I can do it. Maybe I can, this is totally arrogant and prideful and awful of me, but it's like, maybe I can be good enough. Maybe I can be, the best wife and the best mom and, the best ministry leader and the best friend and all this stuff. But yes, I do need to be kind to myself. I am super hard on myself and super hard on others, but God is breaking through this tightly wound woman and showing me I can't do it, and that's hard for me, but it is grace indeed. And that's my tagline, finding grace in the unraveling. And as life unravels and we tend to fall apart, he holds us together and brings us through, doesn't he? So thank you for joining me today for the Monday message. Hubby and I will be back here Wednesday at 7 Eastern time for Stop Hammock Time. It might be nice enough to be in the hammock because it's supposed to be really nice. Yes, that is exactly right, Mandy. Thank you for that. So, grace on you. I read that from Robin Jones Gunn. Does anyone know Robin Jones Gunn? I grew up reading her books, and in one of the books, it talked about when they're growing up, they'd always say like, shame on you. And so she and her sister started this thing of grace on you instead of the shame. So anyway, but yes, I'll be back, and I am thinking, I'm not promising, but I am thinking about maybe trying to do Blab sometime this month. So if you're not following me on Blab, you want to try that out, and maybe some of you could come on Blab with me, because I think you have like a host and then you have 3 other people that you can talk about different issues. So I'll let you know if I'm going to do that. And my Blab handle's the same as this, so it's just Katie_M_Reed. So is anyone else? Let me know if you are on Blab so I can follow you. And then I'll also be back here Friday at 1:30 Eastern Time for We Write. Well, we'll be talking about writing encouragement. So happy November, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. And let's walk forward in hope, knowing that we have someone who is sufficient, who is sovereign, who is loving, and He lives within us, right? And so when God looks at us, He sees the perfect Son, and we can cease striving, know that He is God, and have hope for every day. All right, this is Katie M. Reed from katiemreed.com. Happy Monday, and I will see you Wednesday evening.